Hey guys, so today is day 4 of my raw vegan boot camp. We broke down yesterday and had to eat soup because we all got really cold and we live in Florida. Like, how does that happen? So we looked it up in the book and it said that if you start feeling cold that you need to eat something hot. So we tried adding cayenne pepper to our diet, but that didn't work. So then we went on to actually eating the hot soup, and it made it a lot better. So for people who were trying to do the raw 28 day raw vegan boot camp, probably about day 3 you're gonna start eating hot soup at night. Now, we did incorporate grains only because there were a lot of noodles made and nobody had eaten them, so we went ahead and ate the noodles with the soup. But if you're gonna do the raw vegan boot camp, you might as well not eat the noodles, or you can. I guess it depends on your point of view. Anyway, today I wanted to go over a couple of movies that I have seen in the past, why I think that they're so important to me, Dr. Esselstyn and his son. I don't know his son's name, I just know Rip Esselstyn. And I wanted to go over the con part of being vegan during the first 30 days. Alright, so first off, the movies that I did watch, I watched Forks Over Knives, I watched What the Health, and I watched Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dying, which I don't completely agree with the movie, and if you're trying to persuade your family to become vegan, I would not suggest these movies because there's a 1 and a 2, because he still eats meat. But his basis is pretty good, like for the juicing, the juice fasting, it does help reboot your body because I have done it before. And also the Engine 2 diet documentary that I can't actually find right now, so if you find it on YouTube, please let me know. But the Engine 2 does have a YouTube channel, which is 5, which is something that I watched today. And What the Health, it goes over how the American Heart Society, the American Cancer Society, and the American Diabetes Association, they all tell you that you need to eat meat in order to get better, which is completely false. Because you know how you're not supposed to smoke cigarettes? It's a carcinogenic. Pork, beef, chicken, fish, pretty much any meat is classified as a carcinogenic, right? So, one of the highest carcinogenics for heart disease is chicken and beef. But on their site for the Heart Association, they're telling people to eat chicken and beef. Same with diabetics. Chicken is one of the highest carcinogenic foods that you can eat for a diabetic. Like, it could kill you, and it's got chicken recipes to make for diabetics. And then for the Cancer Society, you're not allowed to really have any kind of meat at all, according to the National Cancer Society. But if you look on the American Cancer Society, it tells you to eat these meats. And when asked why in What the Health, no one was allowed to answer legally. And there was even videotape of a manager stating, well, you know, he is a cardiologist and the way that the hospital makes money is through surgeries, and if we tell people to go vegan, he'll be out of the job, which I don't believe is necessarily true, because there are still heart defects and whatnot. They'll have significantly less money and they'll be more humble, but they will not be out of the job. So that was interesting to me. That was very, very interesting to me. And when you watch Fork Over Knives, Dr. Essence, I always butcher his name, it's Essenstiel or Essenstyle. He's in What the Health, Forks Over Knives, and the Engine 2 movies. His son created the Engine 2 diet, and the Engine 2 diet was based out of Texas, which is one of the top meat-eating states in the United States, and they produce the most amount of meat in the United States. And Engine 2 in the little city in Texas, wherever it is that they live, I can't remember off the top of my head, he made it to where they eat vegan while they're at the firehouse, and it has actually helped a lot of the guys lose weight. Their cholesterol went down, and so did their blood pressure, which means their risk for death literally lowered while they were going vegan while at the fire station. Now, some of them aren't vegan outside of the fire station, but some have chosen to go completely vegan after the fire station. But I think it's really cool because the Engine 2 diet, it's proof that going vegan doesn't mean that everything tastes the same, because you have to know how to cook things. I mean, because you run into the same problem with chicken. Like, if you don't know how to cook chicken, it's all going to taste the same. If you don't know how to cook anything else, it's all going to taste the same. And it's the same with vegetables and fruits, because you can cook some fruits. You just have to be willing to learn how to cook these things. And you have to be willing to take the first step to admit that maybe you're not right and jump in and try it. Now, I've had a lot of vegan meals while I was working at my job, because I was vegan for a little bit before this. It was less than a year ago that I was vegan. And I've had some people try it and they couldn't believe how great it tasted. And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, do I look like I would eat a piece of cardboard? No, thank you. So, like, I feel like a big pro to going vegan is learning all of these new recipes, and some of them are more complicated, I am going to admit. Like the one that I made today, I had to grate 5 cups of carrots, which next time I'm buying grated carrots, because that was ridiculous. But some of it's really easy, you know, like you just throw you basically cut up all the vegetables, and then you make the salad dressing, and the salad dressing is what you taste. You don't taste the vegetables, you taste the salad dressing. So a salad is really based on how great the salad dressing is, and it doesn't have to be ranch. Speaking of salad dressings, you need to look at the ingredients of Italian dressing and Catalina and all that stuff. It all has milk and eggs in it. You need to stay away from it. You need to make sure that you're either buying vegan dressing. If you're going to buy a vegan dressing, the best vegan dressing that is store-bought, in my personal opinion, is the Goddess dressing. If you don't want to buy store vegan dressing because it's like $6 a bottle and the bottle's only got like 12 ounces in it, you can make it yourself. It's a lot cheaper, and you have this sense of accomplishment when you make a dressing. And there's lots and lots of recipes online of how to make vegan dressings. Make sure that it's not vegetarian. Make sure it is vegan, because if it has eggs or milk in it, it's not vegan. I also found out today that honey is not vegan. But I'm going to continue to eat honey only because insects make it. I can't find a medical reason why to not eat honey, and on the Engine 2 diet there is no honey, but, well, that I know of. I think it's maple, if I remember correctly. I believe it's all maple syrup. But in the Hallelujah Acres, raw honey is an ingredient, and I think because it's not made by animals, because technically it's made by an insect, it's still vegan in their eyes, but in the world's eyes, because a living thing made it, it means it's not vegan. I'm still gonna eat honey. Honey is one of my favorite things to consume. I love honey in my tea, and I love clover honey specifically. Clover honey and Florida orange honey is my favorite. So I'm gonna continue to eat honey. If you can find a reason for me not to eat honey, you can post it below and I'll look it up and I'll think about it. But until then, I'm gonna still consume it. So another thing that I wanted to go over today was that I actually lost 3 pounds in 4 days. which is a big deal because I'm in a wheelchair. I'm gonna roll. See, you can't really see it. I'm in a wheelchair though. So it's pretty miraculous that I have lost weight on this diet. Only because, sorry, my dog's on the table out there. It's really funny. I'm not moving. I broke my pelvis, my tailbone, my wrist, and my knee. And then I broke my knee again, and that was in January 19th. And then I broke my knee again in April, and I was non-weight bearing until April 9th. I think it was April 12th. So I didn't walk for 3 months because in risk of breaking my pelvis, because the back of my pelvis has a screw about this long, and then the front of my pelvis, my bones are physically smaller than they're supposed to be. So instead of putting 2 plates, they were only able to put 1 plate to hold my pelvis together. So unlike some people who have pelvis injuries, they're allowed to pivot and scooch. I was not allowed to because they were afraid that it would break apart. And I have a tailbone. I have a screw in my tailbone. So, and I have 3 screws in my knee now. That's what I'm about to show you right now. Is my knee, and it looks pretty interesting compared to the other knee. But that knee has had several surgeries. It had the initial surgery on the 19th. It had a follow-up surgery on the 21st because I didn't finish in time because they didn't want me to be under for more than 6 hours. And then it had a manipulation because I couldn't bend my knee all the way like I was supposed to. So they did a knee manipulation to help bend it. And then the 4th surgery was when they had to go back and repair the knee because I had ripped the screws out and broke the kneecap open again. Yay me. So I was pretty thrilled about that. But it's miraculous because I've already lost 3 pounds in 3 days. Something else I want to go over is when you're going vegan, no one ever talks about the gas, and no one talks about the bloating. No one talks about the constantly having to pee and constantly having to go to the bathroom in general. And I'm going to talk about it because I'm a fat vegan and I don't care. You're going to be bloated, and I would suggest taking a 3-day weekend for the first 3 days, making sure that you don't have to leave the house, only because the first 3 days are the hardest mentally and physically. You're going to be going to the bathroom a lot. Your body is going to be getting rid of all of the meat. It's going to be healing the scar tissue in your arteries, and it's going to be healing the way that the movie described it. I can't remember if it was What the Health or Forks Over Knives. The plaque buildup in your arteries, it's going down, and the cell walls are repairing themselves. And you'll be cranky for the first few days, which I was. I was pretty cranky for the first 3 days. I acted really nice for you guys, but I was pretty mean. Not gonna lie. But today's day 4 and I feel a lot better. Personally, my bloating is gone by day 4. The first time I went vegan, it was 3 days. The second time, it was the whole month. But I found out it was because I wasn't rinsing my beans enough. And when you go vegan, you have to make sure that you balance everything out, because if you eat too much of one thing and not enough another, it can cause like gas. You need to make sure that you're getting lots of greens. Greens have a lot of protein in them, and you need to make sure that you're getting a lot of fiber to help push everything out. But if you get too much fiber, you know what happens when you get too much fiber. Anyway, so that's the things that people don't want to talk about when they're being vegan. But the pro is that I already feel better, and I suffer from acne. My first video I made with you guys, I was caked in makeup, and the last 2 I wasn't so much. I might have been in the last one, I can't remember. But this one I don't have makeup on today. And my face, like, I still have like a bump here, and I have some bumps here and stuff. They're not as bad though, because this bump was like twice the size yesterday, which is part of the reason why I didn't shoot a video. But like the acne is going away, my pain's going away. Like I showed you all of my scars and stuff, my visible scars anyway, from the accident. I didn't have to take Tylenol 4 times yesterday. I only had to take it twice, which is, this is an accomplishment for me, you know? I've been in so much pain that I've wanted to like physically harm people because they don't understand like what it's like to be in pain all the time. Obviously people with lupus and fibromyalgia and people who are going through menopause, they understand, but most of those people are older, and I turned 25 this month. I'm pretty young. Like I'm young to be in a lot of pain, and I didn't want to get addicted to opioids, so I stopped taking the narcotics, and I switched to, where is it? I switched to this, the Hemp Works. This is the version without the THC, because I live in Florida. Well, it's legal now medically, but I'm too lazy to go get a prescription for this. But this is the form without THC, and this has been helping a lot. It tastes nasty, but it's been helping a lot. But I only had to take Tylenol twice, and I've only taken it once today. I haven't had to take it again. I had to take it first thing in the morning, and then I have to take it at night before I go to bed. And tonight, I'm going to see if I don't even have to take it tonight. And I'll let you guys know in my next video if I did or not. But, yeah, I feel a lot better. I have a lot more energy. I did get kicked in the ass, though, because I did not prep. I didn't prep enough. I'm struggling because some of the raw stuff, it's like I have to skin apples because I'm eating so much fiber everywhere else. They don't want me to eat too much fiber, so I'm skinning apples and I'm skinning pears, and it's a lot of skinning. And I didn't think that apple juice would keep it from turning brown, and I was wrong. It kept the banana from turning brown, and it kept the apple from turning brown. So, and then I added a little bit of lemon juice because I'm anal, because I'm so used to the lemon juice. But I didn't add the apple juice yesterday because we ran out and we didn't have the lemon. So I was really surprised that nothing turned brown after 6 hours of being in the fridge, which makes me think 6 hours of being in the fridge, if I make it right before I go to bed, then I can eat. I can eat first thing in the morning instead of waiting until 9 o'clock to eat, because it takes me so long to prep the breakfast, because it takes me like an hour to get out of the bed with my leg because I can't walk very well, and I have to take a shower in the morning or I won't later. That's just how it is. So I am going to work on my prepping. I'll find out if I've gotten better at it or not. Today I prepped dinner for tomorrow because I knew we weren't going to be home to make it, and I'm going to prep breakfast tonight, and I'm going to see if I can prep lunch too. I'm just going to go ahead and prep all of my food tonight, only because today I was in the kitchen for like 6 hours, and I was in the kitchen yesterday for like 8 hours, and I only spent a total of an hour eating. So, and it's because I'm in a wheelchair and it takes me longer to do things, and I don't want my family to do it because they've already done a lot for me, so I want to be the one who's prepping these meals. It's just hard, and I forgot to make all the meals for my brother, but I figure he's an able-bodied human. He can make his meat if he wants to eat it. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about this. I feel pretty confident that tomorrow's definitely going to be a better day, even though I have a doctor's appointment. Wish me luck, guys.